The purpose of the Advanced Chemical Selector tool is to recommend products based on the chemical hazards, application requirements, working environment, and other secondary hazards present in an application. The tool can be used by both registered and non-registered users. However, we would recommend to register and sign into your account to take full advantage of all the features. This tool will guide you through an easy-to-use 4-step wizard to ensure that Ansell is capturing your chemical protection need. Here, in Step 1, is where you will select your primary hazards. To do so, you have two options. You can use either the Chemicals tab or the Other Hazards tab. If I select Other Hazards, I'm going to be presented with a number of different hazards that I can search on, such as animal waste and fertilizers, which are more generic and don't have a CAS number. Once you select a hazard, let's say I select animal waste, you'll notice that it's added over here to this table on the right. You can select up to 5 hazards. Now let's add dirt, and I will also add fertilizer. Since I'm in Other Hazards tab, what you will notice is that the Chemicals tab is not active. It's grayed out. To go to the Chemical tab, I must delete all the other hazards that are in the table. And I can do that in a number of different ways. I could do it one at a time by just selecting the hazard and select the trash can. Or I could select this checkbox next to the CAS number. And when I do that, I just need to click on the Remove button, and that will remove both of the chemicals. As you can see, the chemicals have now been removed, and you'll notice the Chemical tab is now active. So now I'll click on it and add a few chemicals. You could search for chemicals based on their name or CAS number. So let's search for isopropanol. I'm going to select the isopropanol 70%, and you can see that it was added to the table on the right. Now let's do a search based on the CAS number. So I'm going to enter a CAS number of 7647-01-0. And I will select the hydrochloric acid, and I'm going to select it 37%. And now you can see that has been moved into the table. So now we have both the chemicals are in a table. And I can see their concentration percentage as well as the physical state. As you can see, these are both liquids. In the table, you can order the chemicals in ascending or descending order of their CAS number, or you can also order them alphabetically based on the chemical name, just by clicking on these arrows, as well as the concentration percentage and physical state. Now once you enter all the chemicals and you want to move on to Step 2, all you need to do is go to Application Details button, or you could go directly to the Step 2 chevron, enter Application Details, and that will move you into Step 2. If for any reason you can't find the chemicals you're looking for in Step 1, click on Can't Find Chemicals or Other Hazards. And you will see this pop-up, and all you need to do is fill in the information required in the pop-up window. Provide the name of the concentration and CAS number of the chemical. For instance, 10% sulfuric acid, CAS number 7664-93-9, and you will be contacted by an Ansell representative to get more information about your application needs. So now at this point, you're ready to move on to Step 2. So you could just select the application details or the chevron, and now you can see we moved on. In this step, we want to learn more about your application in order to suggest the right products. As such, we need to know what kind of protection you need. Do you require hand protection, body protection, or both? Let's assume I need hand protection only. So I'm going to select the radio button, and when I do that, you can see that I'm presented with additional questions. These questions are based on the chemicals that you entered in Step 1, so it's customized. I'm asked what the exposure time is to the chemicals. In the drop-down menu, I have a number of different options. So I'm going to select 10 to 30 minutes. And another piece of information needed for the right product recommendation is what type of contact with the chemical is it? Is it splash or is it continuous? And if you're not sure what that means, you could hover over the information icon on both of these to get an example of what that means. So I'm going to select Splash. And if I want to make changes to my chemical entries, I can always go back to step 1 at any point in time. I can do that by selecting the back button, or I could select the step 1 chevron right up here. Now to move to the next step, it's required that you answer all the questions that you're presented with on this screen. You will see everything that's required with the red asterisk, and you can see all 3 of these are required questions. So now we're ready to move on to select our secondary hazards in step 3. So I can select either the secondary hazards button or the chevron in step 3. In step 3, you can select any other secondary hazards that may be present in your application. There are situations where there are no other hazards but the chemical hazards, so you can skip this step by going right to step 4 and view the products. However, there are situations where other hazards are present in your application, and you could select them here. You can select one or many secondary hazards, but keep in mind that the more secondary hazards you select, the fewer the number of recommended products you will see in your recommendation results. Since I'm working in a controlled environment, for this demonstration, I'm going to select Clean Room. And now that I've done that, I'm ready to move on to step 4 and view my product recommendations. You can select View Products, or go right to the chevron, step 4, View Products, and see your recommendations. In step 4, this is where you will see the products suggested for your application based on the criteria you entered in the first 3 steps of the wizard. Notice that I have 17 product results. By default, the system will display 12 products at a time, so if I wanted to see the other 5, I just have to click on this plus where it says Load More icon, and it will show the remaining products that I wanted to look at. In step 4, you can compare and filter products as well as download reports. There is also this Buy Now feature that will be active if the product is available in your region. And if you want to get more information about a particular product, simply click on this information icon, and you can get information such as the details, and you can expand and collapse any of these sections. You can see the product specs, as well as the chemical permeation breakthrough time. And if I want to get more information about the product, I have a link right here on this icon that will bring me right to Ansell.com for this product. Now to compare products, all you need to do is click on the Compare or Download checkbox next to any of the products you want to compare. You must check off, of course, at least 2 products. I'm going to compare 3, so I'm going to do the Touch and Tough DermaShield 73701, the Microflex 93360, as well as the Touch and Tough 73500. And when I do that, what you'll notice, this Compare button shows 3 in here, telling me that I have 3 products selected. Now let's look at a comparison by clicking on the Compare. And you will see now the 3 products I selected are in a side-by-side view where you can see the product specifications as well as the chemical permeation information. I can collapse and expand these different sections very easily by clicking on the arrow. And you'll notice in the chemical permeation data, I can see the data as EN or ASTM. And I can also show the legend for any of this information. When I click on Return to View Products, I'm brought back to the previous screen. From here, you can apply filters based on glove material, construction, as well as special needs. Let's say that you want to see which gloves have neoprene material. So I will click on neoprene, and now I get my results. And I also want to know, of the 7 gloves, which ones have anti-static properties. So in special needs section, I will select anti-static. So the filter is now showing 3 product results based on my filtering criteria. And if I want to remove any specific filter, I can easily do that by just clicking on the filter, the active filter right here. If I wanted to remove neoprene, or if I wanted to remove all the filters and start over, I just click on remove filters. Now if I want to create a report with these gloves on there, I can easily do that by selecting download report. But I only really want to show in the report these two products I'm interested in. So you would click on compare or download, and I'm going to click on this one, and also compare or download this product right here. And now I'm going to select download report. And now when I do this, I'm presented with this modal where I can customize my report. I can select the permeation standard I want to use. I could also enter organizational details. In organizational details, it is required to put in an organization name. I'm going to put in my company. And you also have an option if you desire to upload the organization's logo. And I will do that. And you'll notice it gives you the file formats that are accepted and the maximum size. I can also put in here who the report is prepared for. So I'm going to enter John Smith. And I could put in John Smith's title, I could put in the phone number, but I'm just going to put in the title that John Smith is a safety manager. And then I could enter report details. This is the name I want to give to the report. What do I want it to appear as from a report name standpoint? So I'm going to call this the safety recommendation report. And I can select any of these 4 images to show on the cover page. Report name, you can see, is required, as you can see this red asterisk. I also have a prepared by section, so I could put in who prepared the actual report. So I could put in the person's name, last name, title, organization name, email address, and phone number, but I'm not going to enter that right now. I'm just going to click download because I want to see what my report looks like. And when I download the report, it's going to generate a PDF file. And I can click on this to open it up. I can also hit yes if I want to go back to step 4 and view my products. But if I wanted to start all over and go right to step 1, I would just click on no. But right now I'm just concerned about opening my report and what it looks like. So when I open my report, you can see that the first page is going to show the image that I wanted on here because that is my cover page. You could see the organization name appears on here, followed by a disclaimer. And then you're going to get application details. And in the application details, this is where you're going to see the chemicals, the application details, and the secondary hazards you selected are displayed. And then next, you're going to see a products page. It will show the products that you selected, and they're displayed along with their specifications. And then followed by the chemical permeation data for the respected products. That is also shown. In the next page, you're going to see for the hand protection permeation the legend. So this way you understand how to read the chemical permeation data. And then lastly, you're going to get a thank you page. And you can see where I put in my prepared for. This was prepared for John Smith, the safety manager. And then this is a default image that will show. And the report also includes a link to our terms of service.